too intimidating, that Home Alone thing?
Yeah, it's huge.
It's huge.
I know. I don't know how. Right? She loves the Home Alone house, I guess. Yeah. I guess just building it with the boys, she's grown to enjoy it, maybe.
Well, yeah, there does exist like a Lego Titanic thing, and that has like over 10,000 bricks.
Yeah, it's huge, and it's $1 million trillion.
Probably.
Titanic one?
Yeah,
It has like actual.
it's like huge.
It has sushi inside.
I think so. It's like the size of your windshield.
Wow. It's interesting where it has the inside like the cabins.
I believe it does. Oh, sorry, that's on my bum. Sorry, I'll speed up. It's dark and the windows are dirty. Okay, well now I'm going 20 over, so you're a big baby. Did you hear that somebody got stabbed or something in Reunion last night? Like the neighborhood next to Williamstown?
Oh,
Reunion.
Yeah.
oh, someone had asked me like who that person is, and like it was like when I was in like Reunion, like someone was asking me about some sort of killer or something.
When?
That was probably a couple months ago.
Oh, this was just last night.
I know, but it's crazy. I
That's
mean,
freaky.
it's
Yeah.
abs.
I don't know the full story of what happened. It's just I saw like a Facebook alert because they had like the helicopters over Reunion last night, like 2 in the morning. But everyone was saying that like they had their windows open and heard this lady just scream like a blood thrilling like somebody help me scream. And then yeah, I guess she got stabbed. I don't know if she lived or anything. Like I tried Googling it, but they're not releasing any information about it. So I don't know if she died or not. Yeah, they got stabbed.
Like the person who asked me, I don't know when that happened, but I think it was around that time I was angry at Notion to Hoshi or something like that.
There was a birthday understanding. Was that a year ago?
That was-
Or just the summer?
I know that someone shot someone in Strathmore, like in the summer.
What if there's an airdrop?
Oh, it's just freaky. But I've been listening to this true crime podcast, so I'm like extra spooked.
Oh, right. Oh, is it just a random return story?
Yeah, it's like this wife and husband duo, and the wife's really into true crime, and the husband isn't. So then she like tells all these stories to her husband, and you get his like reaction to it. It's like the equivalent of like me telling you some murder story where you're just like, oh my god, like, you know. But they do cool ones. Like they do like obviously like recent and dates, but then they do like the Salem witch trials and stuff like that as well to talk about. And like she talked about the story. Like, do you know where the term Stockholm syndrome comes from?
Yep.
There's this guy that robbed a bank, and then basically all of his hostages were just really charmed by him, and like wouldn't listen to the police. Like he was like, I'll quit robbing your bank, but you have to let the hostages come with me. And obviously the police were like, no, we're not gonna do that. And then all the hostages were like, no, it's okay, just let us go with him, it's okay. And like, because the way they were trapped in the bank, and they were trapped in a safe for days, and this guy was like a bomb expert basically, so every time they would try to attack, he would counterattack at them, but then it would like lead to the state of the safe they were in. Like the lights would flicker on and off, on and off, on and off, on and off, just like as like kind of a form of torture.
Yeah.
So then he kind of just like manipulated these two girls and this guy to go with him and whatever. And it was in a bank in Stockholm.
You know the story, but you don't even know the years.
Oh, sorry.
It's like the Jeremiah's houses, right?
Yeah. And they covered like stories like that too, or like they covered like where the term Amber Alert came from, like who Amber was that made that term. So like it's gruesome, but she doesn't get into gory details when she explains the story. Like she explains it a lot better than I just did to you, but still like very dancing around. She's not like, and she was stabbed in the eyeball 14 million times and blah blah blah. She like keeps it pretty. So it's still like gruesome, but it's like interesting. Or remember when there was in 2016 people were dressing up like clowns and scaring people?
I remember that.
Yeah, I don't recall that at all.
Yeah, it was back in 2016. It was like a huge thing all over the world. People were dressing up like clowns and just scaring people basically. But in the States somewhere, basically in the peak of all these people dressing up like clowns, like it was like really bad. Like stores were taking clown masks off of the shelves and stuff because people just kept doing it and like.
Whoa, what a
committing
huge
crimes.
traffic jam.
Yeah, thank God we're going the other way.
Yeah.
But this one lady, I guess her husband was having an affair, so she took advantage of the clown craze and like basically just rang her doorbell. The lady answers her phone, and then the lady in the clown suit keeps like inching her to come closer, being silly, and she doesn't know any better. She thinks it's like a telegram or something. She's got flowers, right? Inching her to come closer, and then she shot her and killed her.
Wow.
Yeah.
This traffic jam reminds me of the ones that I had to deal with in like Washington back after the solar eclipse.
Yeah, I feel like there's been an accident on the highway like every day.
Yeah, whenever there's a solar eclipse, you expect there's going to be a traffic jam, and some people just don't make it to a hotel and just have to park somewhere else to sleep somewhere else.
Yeah.
Couldn't make it home in time for the sun to come down.
Oh